Okay, let's talk SEO for newsletters. So this is something that's not talked about all that often because the main source of traffic for newsletters is obviously having an email list and not building up SEO on Google. That's one of the things that makes newsletters great because you're not relying on Google to send you traffic. You have your own list and you control sending, you control the traffic when you own your list. You can send out to your list whenever you want. You have a direct relationship with them. But it's something that's not talked about all that often, but SEO, or basically showing up high in search results with the newsletter, is a great way to get traffic and basically build a subscriber list for free. So if you are showing up, let's say one of your articles shows up high in a Google search in your niche and your target audience is reading that article, and then there's a pop-up to sign up to your newsletter. When you're not paying for Facebook ads or Twitter ads and you're basically getting that traffic for free to your articles, you can basically build up a massive list without having to pay for ads or figure out other organic ways to get in front of your audience. So once SEO actually kicks in and you actually start getting some free traffic and free subscribers, it's an awesome way to grow a list. I wouldn't recommend it being like your main focus or your focus early on. It takes a while to start kicking in. But once it does start kicking in, like I'm getting probably 2 to 3 subscribers per day, which is really, really low. I know there's some bigger newsletters getting, 100 plus every day just from SEO, but this is just something that snowballs. So like an article that you write today may not actually start getting traffic for another month or 2 months, but in 6 months, that might be ranking number 1 for a search, and it might be getting you a ton of subscribers every single day. And so it's like put in the work now and you'll see the snowball effect in a couple of months. The one thing that's super important about, SEO, and something that's like a little weird for newsletters is that in order to rank for certain keywords or articles on on Google, you're going to need backlinks. So that's what I want to talk about today, how you can get backlinks for your newsletter, how I've gone about getting them, and let's just jump into it. Okay, so backlinks for newsletters. So backlinks are important because they basically tell Google that your site is important. So it's kind of like a popularity contest. So basically, if your website is linked on other websites, or the more websites that your newsletter is linked to, it's basically telling Google like, hey, this website is important, or this website is popular, or this website is legit, so that we should, and to Google, that basically says, okay, you should look at this website as more authoritative, a bigger authority in their niche, and you should rank it higher in the Google search results. So that's why it's important to have backlinks. If you don't have any backlinks at all, basically it tells Google like, hey, nobody's linking to this website, so it must not be important. So the more backlinks that you have, a higher domain rating that you have, and the higher domain rating you have, the easier it is to rank for certain keywords or have your articles rank on Google. So it all comes back to Google and telling Google that your site is important. Obviously, this is all a downstream effect. So the more backlinks that you have, the higher your articles are going to show up in search results, the better your SEO is going to be, and the more subscribers that you're going to be able to get. So over time, this takes a while. Some of the backlinks that you should be going after immediately are just going to be easy freebies and directories and things like that. And then over time, you can be more intentional about it. Go after, bigger blogs, or try to write and guest post for other sources. And yes, you can pay for backlinks. I wouldn't recommend it because you're trying to grow this as like a legit authority in your niche. So like if you get caught paying for some backlinks, you could get penalized. I don't think it's worth it. And then you're starting to pay for backlinks, and all these strategies are free. So yeah, you can pay, you can probably shortcut. I don't know all that much about the best backlinks to pay for. There's tons of agencies out there to get backlinks, so you could use one of those, but all of these methods are going to be completely free. So starting out, number 1 is the most beginner 101 type strategy, which is just including it everywhere, like all your socials. If you have any other websites, let's say you had another blog or you started like a personal website at some point, just list your newsletter link on those websites. The more backlinks, the better. Like your other websites probably aren't going to have a high domain authority, so like it won't matter that much. It won't like have that much weight. The higher the domain authority that the backlink is on, the more it's going to tell Google that your site is important. So for example, like if you have let's say HubSpot's blog puts up a link of your newsletter, that's going to carry a lot more weight than like including your website or your link on your own personal website, because HubSpot's going to have a super high domain authority. So that link's just going to be worth way more. So if you're starting out, just include your website, or sorry, your link on any of your personal websites that you already have, social profiles like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, listed everywhere that you have. These are all super free and take 30 seconds to do. The next one is going to be newsletter directories. So there's ones like newsletters.co, newslettersdirectory.com. These are going to be just like simple directories. You go in, you submit your newsletter, they're going to list it as a listing. So you can like go on these websites, you can sort. I'll show you what they look like. You can basically see like they just list off different newsletters or newsletter posts, things like this. You can add a newsletter here, or newslettersdirectory.com. So like it's supposed to be like a discovery tool for newsletters. I don't know anybody that actually goes here to like discover newsletters. Maybe there are people out there, but like probably not looking through here to like find more newsletters to fill up your inbox with. But if you have a newsletter, submit it on here. This will give you a free backlink, and that's just a great start. Next is just ask other newsletters. So like if you're trying to grow a newsletter, you're going to start getting familiar with other newsletters in your niche. So like, let's just say you're a marketing newsletter. You're probably familiar with other marketing newsletters out there. And so you should reach out to them and try to get familiar with them. Even, just say like, hey, what's up? I'm also building in this space, like what you're building. And over time, try to push for a guest post. So like if you can become a guest writer on their newsletter, or a guest writer, just like a blog post. So like why all of this matters is because tools like Beehive, when you send a newsletter, it's going to actually post that newsletter on your website or on the web if you allow it to. And that newsletter basically lives forever on your website. So it allows you to basically build SEO and web traffic to that past newsletter, so that, in the past you might send an email, and once that email is gone, it's basically that email took place and now it'll never be seen again. But now with like Beehive and Substack, those live on your website forever. So they basically become a blog post. So you can go to these newsletters and say, hey, would you be open to me writing a blog post for you? Maybe you can swap, so they can do like a guest post in your newsletter, and then you could do a guest post in theirs. If you go to lettergrowth.com, this is a cool website where you can find other newsletters that are looking for cross promotions. So a lot of the times this is going to be like Beehive Boost, or like, showing up on people's widgets when you subscribe, so that it's like co-registration. But you can reach out to these people and be like, hey, would you be interested in a newsletter swap or doing like a guest post? And in the guest post, it'll be a link to your newsletter, and that builds you a backlink right there. Next thing we have here is looking for outbound opportunities. So the way that you go about this is you Google "Write for Us" plus your niche. So in this example, let's just say you're in marketing. You'd say "Write for Us plus marketing." And you're going to find a bunch of websites here that are accepting guest post submissions. And in these guest posts, you can link your blog. So basically it gives you like guidelines for submitting your guest post. You'll basically write a big guest post, or write a post, an article in your niche about, something that they have on the website. So we're specifically looking for topics about e-commerce, real estate, B2B business, medical, higher education. If you write a blog post about that, include a link to your newsletter in there. That's like the tried and true method. It takes time, but you will get some people that'll say yes, and then you'll get some free backlinks. The other thing you could do is actually do this inbound. So I actually have this on my website. I made a separate page on my Beehive that says "Write for Us plus," and then you'll put in a bunch of keywords. So the way that this looks like is, let's just take marketing, for example. So you'll make a new page, and then on that page, it'll just say "Write for Us plus marketing," "Write for Us plus business," "Write for Us plus And so you'll make a page that has all this, and then you'll say guidelines on like, we're looking for writers to post in these specific genres or in these specific niches, and you'll have other SEOs reaching out to you trying to get backlinks on your website. So the way that you spin this is say, hey, happy to give you a post on my website where you can include a backlink to your website. However, I'd like one on your website as well, whatever they're reaching out to. And then you can start bartering and, turn it around and say, hey, happy to do it, but I also want a backlink on mine. This will probably take a little while to start kicking in. I put it on my website, and I think it probably took about 2 months to start getting inbounds, but now I probably get about 1 to 2 inbounds a day, just saying like, hey, can I write a blog post on these specific topics? Immediately I write back and just say, hey, like, what are you trying to backlink to my website? What website are you going to link in here? They write back, tell me what it is. If it's interesting to me, I'll say, hey, happy to do it, but I'd like a link on your website. That's worked a couple times, and that's an easy way to get backlinks. So if you have any questions here, I'll link these show notes in the description so you can take a look at them, get these links. If you have any questions, comment below, and I will be back with another newsletter-related video tomorrow or maybe the next day. Not really sure. We'll see what happens. Peace.